Onyeka, are digital skills different from tech or Web3 skills? Onyeka, what digital skills should I learn? Onyeka, what are the popular digital skills that are in demand right now? Well, today we're going to be answering all of those questions. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to my channel. My name is Onyeka Adedayo. I'm a full stack marketer and community builder. I didn't mention this in the last video, but I'm actually a SEMrush ambassador. Yes, you heard right. SEMrush is an AI-powered digital marketing platform that provides an all-in-one solution for digital marketers. All right, on today's video, we're going to be talking about something really interesting. It is popular questions that I get asked about the digital ecosystem. Without much ado, let us get into it. I'm going to be peeling the questions off and answering them one after the other. I promise that this is going to be exciting and very insightful. So, the first question here says, are digital skills different from tech skills or Web3 skills? This is an important question to answer because many a times when people talk about digital skills, they're probably just thinking about Web3, especially here in Nigeria where Web3 has sort of like caught on. A lot of young people know about Web3, crypto. And in some cases, there are some persons who think digital skills are limited to, technical skills like coding, marketing, but it transcends beyond that. Digital skills refer to the ability to find, create, evaluate, and communicate information using digital technologies, and then leveraging these technologies to solve problems and execute various tasks. Now, it can be as basic as using your phone every morning or sending an email to as complex as creating a software as a service tool, right? So, whether it is a tech skill, whether it is a Web3 skill, they all have a place under the digital skill umbrella. So think of digital skill as the house that has different rooms. And in these rooms, you can have technical skills. In this room, you can have Web3 skills. There's so many subsets, right? But digital skill is a broad term for all of this. As long as you're utilizing digital tools, you have a digital skill. And thus, you are operating in the digital ecosystem. So that is the first question on our list today. Now, moving on, we have another interesting question here. It says, what digital skills should I learn? I get this one a lot. I feel like this is the most popular question on the internet for every newbie into the digital ecosystem. And it is normal. Of course, people want to know what direction they should go in when trying to build a career. But you always have to think of it from the perspective of it is about you. So your career is something that you're going to stay with for a long time. If it's something that you do not enjoy doing, you're going to be unhappy for a very long time. So ideally, when you want to think about the digital skill that you should learn or invest time in, I want you to first think of what makes you happy. Now, you can categorize these things that make you happy under skills and interests. So, skills are those things that you've learned how to do and can actually render as a service to people and earn money for them. Interests are those things that you just like. They are not necessarily things that you've already learned to do, but they are something that, they're just there. They're an interest that you have. So, say, for example, I could have learned how to code, right? At some point in my life, I could have learned how to code. And maybe on the interest side, I love playing football. So I just love playing football. It doesn't mean that I've trained to be a football player, right? But sometimes there's like a very thin line between these two areas. So if you need maybe to leverage AI tools like ChatGPT or Bard to help you understand better what are your skills and what are your interests, I really encourage that you do that. But after you put together your skills and your interests, you want to look at the section where you have your skills. Now, in your skills section, you want to identify what are my core skills. Your core skills are those things that you have a lot of strength in. You can do them at any time, right? So, say for example, I'm a full stack marketer. I would say that one of my core skills is in content because I started off as a content creator. I've done like a lot of content writing, content development, ideation, content strategy, etc., etc. So I would say that that is like a core skill of mine. But there are other supporting skills that I have, right? So these are things that I've learned over time, but they are not like my core skills. So example, email marketing, right? How to create a landing page, how to run ads, etc., etc. So these are supporting skills. I can bring them into the matrix as a full stack marketer, but they're not necessarily my core skills. So it is important for you to understand what are my core skills and then what are my supporting skills. There are also areas where people have a lot of interest. So you can find out that newbies into the ecosystem, like into the digital ecosystem, they want to learn a lot of things. Maybe they have an interest in graphics designing, they like content writing, they also like AI video creation, right? I would always say start off by doing things that don't scale. So try to do everything. You're not necessarily trying to scale them at this point. You're just trying to understand, okay, where do I have my strengths? What are those things that I can do at any given time? I can make money from me. So don't try to limit yourself and say, oh, I just need to focus on AI video creation, right? Or I just need to focus on graphics design. You can put your hands in everything. You can try to explore everything. With time, you can define for yourself what you're really interested in, and focus on that area. So if you have a lot of interests, don't try to lose them, or if you have a lot of skills, don't try to lose them. Try to explore them and then identify those ones that you're really really good at, and build there. Over time you can begin to add all those other supporting skills. Moving on to the next question. We're kind of like moving fast here, don't you think? The next question is, how do I build a digital career? Huh. Building a digital career is a never ending journey, right? So if you're deciding to go on the path of building a digital career, know that you're going to be building it for as long as time permits, right? Because it is not a one, it's not a set it and forget it system. You always have to be learning. You always have to be relearning. You have to be networking, communicating, and stuff like that, right? But primarily, if you want to build a thriving digital career, first identify what your skills are, right? Once you identify what your skills are, try to gain practical knowledge. How do you gain practical knowledge? By working in roles that allow you to, do those things that you have a skill in, right? So if, for instance, I'm a graphics designer, I want to find a job as a graphics designer and do more of graphics design work, because the more that you do it, the better that you get at it, right? But there are times where you may not necessarily want to start off working with a company because the demands are high. When you're working and being paid for a job, people expect you to deliver an excellent job. So if you do not want to handle that pressure, I recommend that you volunteer for a project or a company, just to gain that hands-on experience and also to expose yourself to a professional setting, working within a company and understanding what the demands are, what the expectations are, right? You can either volunteer to work with a company, or you can build a side project. For example, as at the time when I created my community, I did it because I wanted to practice some of the things that I was learning as a digital marketer. And over time, I've been able to effectively practice that. So at Create, I have done a lot of things. Of course, I'm excited about it, but I've done a lot of things. I have worked as the social media manager full time. I've done content strategy, content ideation, content creation. I have handled a community, like I've literally grown it from scratch to over 8,000 people today. I have set up and managed a newsletter. I have done email marketing. I have optimized websites. I've done SEO writing. So there have been so many experiences that I've been able to get just because I created a side project for myself and invested my time in just practicing my digital skills there. So if you can do this, please go ahead and do it. The next thing is you want to talk about what you do. So nobody can work with you if they do not know that you have a certain skill. If you're a digital talent, I really want to encourage you. Do not be shy about putting yourself out there, irrespective of where you're starting out from. Every expert was once a beginner, right? So don't be scared to go from bottom up. You can climb a mountain unless you start at the bottom. So put your content out there. Of course, if some of the content, like 6 months down the line, they're going to make you cringe. You're going to be like, oh, I posted something like this. But interestingly, you need to do this now. You need to be able to be consistent at this when you're not even so good, right? You need to be able to talk about what you're doing. Let people tell you how to do better, give you feedback. For instance, I've never done YouTube content creation before. I'm just starting out. I know that I may be making some sort of mistakes. Just last week, someone gave me a tip on how to place my captions so that they're not so strenuous for the eyes, right? And that is one tip that is never leaving my mind. And it's probably something that I would have never learned if I didn't put myself out there. So make sure that you're putting your work out there, right? It's called building in public. I'm going to attach a resource in the caption that provides you detailed information on how you can get content inspiration for building in public. We've written extensively on this, we've added practical examples, and you can leverage it to start showing up on social media platforms and talking about what you do. Now, next, find communities. There are communities for everything, I'm not going to lie. But for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to just talk about Create. Now, Create is my community. It is a community for digital skill enthusiasts, like I've said. What makes Create interesting is that a lot of our courses are free, one. Two, we give you access to training, resources, opportunities, jobs. Like so many people within the Create community have been connected to job opportunities and maybe volunteering opportunities just because they were in the community. And sometimes they don't even have to have prior work experience before finding these opportunities. So if this sounds exciting to you, I highly recommend that you join the Create community. I'll also attach the link in the description below so you can utilize the link for accessing the community. But that's one community that really helps you as a digital talent, right? Whatever level that you are in, whether you're an expert, whether you're a mid-tier professional, whether you are a beginner, there is a place for you at Create. And I highly recommend Create also because we cover everything. We don't try to say, oh, let's just talk about writing, or oh, let's just talk about digital marketing. We cover every single thing because we understand that you can have a lot of interest, and sometimes digital skills kind of overlap, right? So you can see someone who is a community manager today grow into becoming like a project manager, grow into becoming like a business development representative. And in an environment like that, you want to ensure that you're talking about all these different verticals so that people can easily transition and make the most out of their careers, right? So we talk about everything. So if you are a newbie and you're thinking, what digital skill should I learn? Or how do I get started? Create is like very easy for you. And I highly recommend that you join in. But yeah, joining communities. When you join communities, you get access to information, you get access to opportunities. You also can get access to mentorship and support, which is so important when you're building a digital career because nobody has it all figured out. Sometimes you need to ask questions. And even though there are AIs today that can answer your question in real time or online platforms where you can find answers, sometimes that person to person communication, knowing that you have someone who's just like one DM away, it does a lot for you in your digital career. So yeah, that is the next thing. Then after that, you want to ensure that you are creating your portfolio. I don't know which comes first, whether creating your resume should come first or creating your portfolio should come first. But we can put them pari passu, like together, because they are both equally important. Now, a resume is kind of like just detailing your experience for a particular job that you want to get, right? A portfolio is more expressive. It allows you to talk more about the things that you do. It allows you to show proof. You can literally talk about anything in your portfolio. I've seen graphics designers or product designers who, when you ask them for their portfolio, they have a portfolio for maybe animation, a portfolio for social media designs, a portfolio for maybe blog covers, portfolio for newsletters, and they can be able to do that because it is a portfolio, right? But if they were to submit a resume for maybe just graphics designing, it would be very different. Do you get? It would just be tailored to maybe all their work experience as a graphics designer, some of the things they were able to deliver on, or they were able to deliver content that went viral, reached maybe 100 million views, and things like that, right? So they are quite different, but they are both equally important. And if you have a versatile, if you are versatile like me, a portfolio will really do you a world of good because you'll be able to talk about all the different things that you know how to do and then utilize this when pitching yourself to clients or submitting an application for a job, right? So these are the steps that you need to follow to start building a digital career. If there are any questions that you have around this, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'm going to respond. Now, let us move. Our next question says, what community should I join as a digital talent? I feel very biased because I already have spoken about Create. But yes, Create is one community that you should definitely join as a digital skill enthusiast. However, there are other communities out there that may be more niche and can give you more specialized insights. For instance, you can have like specific writing communities, specific maybe designer communities, specific marketers group, etc., etc. We have a blog that we wrote on this. I'm going to link it in the description as well so that you can easily find tech communities to join as a newbie and utilize them for your benefit. If you're interested in coding and you're female, you can check out She Code Africa. If you are interested in maybe learning virtual assistant, you can check out ALX. If you're interested in maybe Web3 development, you can check out Borderless Dev Hub. If you are interested in building products, you can check out IRHQ. So there are so many communities out there that you can actually be a part of, and I will try to link all of them in the description so that you can easily access them. Now, last but not the least, the most popular question, or one of the most popular question, it says, what are the most in-demand digital skills that you can learn right now? Okay, I do not want to say that this is conclusive data because it keeps changing over time. New things keep arising. As at 2020, we didn't have ChatGPT, but look at the world today. AI is in everything, and everything has AI, right? So you basically want to keep an open mind. But I'll say that right now, some of the most in-demand skills that you can have are one, digital marketing. Why digital marketing first? Well, it's because people keep creating products. And because they keep creating product, there would always be a demand for marketers. So digital marketing is like one skill that you definitely need to learn. It's not for everyone, of course. If you don't have that interest, it's fine. But it's an in-demand skill. And if you learn it, you're very good at it, you can go really, really far. Another skill is web development, right? So again, people keep building products. People have a lot of desires on the kind of product they want to see in the market, and they need developers to create this product. That's where you come in. Now, designers. This is so important because irrespective of the tools that are out there today, we still need designers. We still need people with the innate human and creative ability to create content that resonates, right? To create designs or create maybe products that resonate. So designing is still something that you can take advantage of. Then there are very technical skills like artificial intelligence and machine learning. Remember, I said AI is in everything. So now people are looking for those who understand how to use AI to create systems and to build products. You also have data analytics. Now, with the rise of AI, it means that there is a lot of data to compute, and data analysts come in here. Because there is such a large amount of data being created, data analysts have a huge role to play in today's world. Then you have cybersecurity professionals. With the rise of AI and things like IoT, you have connectivity, you're connecting your device to your watch, connecting your watch to the TV, connecting your phone to your car, things like this. Because there are so many interconnectivity going on in our world today, there is a high chance of cybersecurity risks. So cybersecurity is also a rising it's not even rising. It is up there. It is really up there. It is an in-demand skill that you can learn and you get very well compensated for. Then what other technical skills? These are the basics that I can mention for now. There are more. I would link a resource in the description that can share more with you on some in-demand skills you can learn right now. But just know that there's so much sectors within the digital ecosystem where you can find your place, right? There's so many people looking for UGC content creators right now. So if you are a micro influencer, if you do UGC video content, there is a demand for you. People are also looking for guys who can do business development. I think that there is an obvious lack of business developers in this part of the world because I have personally tried to hire for business development roles and I've seen how hard it is. Not many people understand what business development entails. So if you want to learn business development, that's also something that is very lucrative right now, especially if you know how to do it well. We'll stop here for now. Again, if you're new to my channel, I really want to encourage you to subscribe. This is our second video on this channel. We're going to have another video next week, and I promise that it's only going to keep getting better and better. But I would like to hear from you, from everything that we've discussed today. If you have questions, if there are topics that you'd like me to cover, please make sure to put them in the comment section, and I will definitely do a content answering all your questions. Bye.